This video is a free masterclass for Muslim e-commerce stores that want to use paid advertising to grow reliably and profitably here in 2025. My name is Harun Ismail and I am a Muslim e-commerce advertiser, and that's also why that I have essentially exclusively dedicated this YouTube channel to Muslim e-commerce brands to showcase other Muslim brands how they can use paid advertising and add paid advertising on as an extra reliable and predictable source of revenue for their brands. Now, in all transparency, I am located here in Denmark. I'm a Muslim myself, alhamdulillah, and that's why on one leg of my consultancy firm, I'm working with Muslim e-commerce brands worldwide, but on the other leg, I'm also still working with Scandinavian brands. Nonetheless, this YouTube channel will still be highly relevant for you because I am a Muslim myself working with Muslim brands worldwide, but all of the case studies and all of the brands that I'm going to showcase throughout this YouTube channel is exclusively going to be my Scandinavian brands and the partners that I have here in Scandinavia. And the reason for that is because the Muslim e-commerce niche can be relatively small, and I know that the brands that I collaborate with wouldn't like to essentially have their information be on my YouTube channel because of GDPR, because of contracts and confidentiality, which I'm sure that you can understand. So that's why that I'm going to essentially only showcase my Scandinavian case studies. Nonetheless, I still have Muslim brands that I'm collaborating with underneath my deck. And if you have any questions, you can always stick them down in the comment section. But with that said, hopefully you enjoy this masterclass. Take care. Free advertising masterclass for e-commerce stores looking to improve their ad performance in 2025. The purpose of this video is that you as an e-commerce owner will be able to take concrete and actionable steps from this video that you can practically use to improve your advertising performance straight out of the get-go. So if you are an e-commerce owner that have struggled with your paid social advertising, then make sure to tune in. The agenda for this video is that we will have to look at your offer and product market fit before we can go into the backend setup on paid social and how you can optimize your ad account. And lastly, we'll also have a look at how you as an e-commerce store can craft a funnel cost efficiently that can allow you to scale your advertising budget on paid social profitably without you essentially having to experience that glass ceiling that most e-commerce owners reach at some point in their growth journey. Now, step number one is offer and product market fit. And as I have written here, before we can achieve success with our paid advertising, we must have an offer with product market fit. And I can't stress how important this is. And obviously, it's going to be relative from brand to brand, because obviously it's depending on your overall product and obviously the market that you are selling to. If you are in, let's say, apparel, it's different to you selling a broad book as an example. But I can't stress how important this is. 7 out of 10 times when I talk to a potential customer in my ads agency and essentially hear how they have been struggling with their paid advertising, it's not often because of their ads agency that they are currently working with that's doing a poor job or whatever the case might be. In 9 out of 10 cases, or in 7 out of 10 cases, it's actually due to the product market fit that they simply don't have. And as you can see here, if you only have a basic product market fit, you will only be able to scale to a certain amount. But if you have what I call product market fit 2.0, an offer that really resonates with a large total addressable market, you will be able to scale much further, much more predictably, and much more profitably. I actually, at this point, have a guide on my YouTube channel talking about how you as an e-commerce owner can craft a product market fit 2.0 without you having to invent the wheel or do anything crazy, but simply having a look at your SKUs as of right now, and then see how you can essentially craft different bundles. That's the primary way that I do it, to first and foremost craft an offer with extremely high perceived value and also a product market fit 2.0 that can allow you to scale your paid advertising efforts. So I highly recommend that you check that video out. Now, especially for those looking to scale aggressively, you need to have a competitive advantage. And again, I can't stress how important this is. You either need to have a factually unique product, better unit economics, so you can scale much more aggressively and, let's say, afford a 20% higher CPA on your front end, or you need to have a unique market that you are addressing with a unique angle. And I actually have a perfect example of this. This is a Danish brand that I'm actively working with, and the brand is called Kuffert and Handsker. And this brand is a brand that sells road books, and the example just goes on that the founder of this brand have essentially written this book himself because he essentially loves what he do for a living. So he have made this product himself. And by that, obviously, we have a product where we don't really have any competitors as a whole, and we are selling a unique product to a unique market that has have given us a competitive advantage that also allowed us to scale our advertising efforts aggressively and staying profitable during that scale that we went on. Now, it's as I've written here, it is so crucial for sustainable and long-term success. Step number two is obviously paid social backend. When you have your offer, with product market fit, we essentially have to look at how we can structure our ad accounts to be most beneficial. And as I have written here, I always keep my ad accounts extremely simple. And why, you might ask? Well, I always optimize according to Meta's. In this case, it could also be TikTok's business model, which is end user experience. Because when you advertise on a paid social platform, you have to realize that Meta or TikTok are optimizing for their platform to essentially engage their consumers for as long as possible. So if you are an advertiser that have poor creative, let's say, that doesn't resonate with your audience and essentially aids them or doesn't aid them to stay on platform, well, obviously you're going to see a terrible CPM price, and you will also have poor placement on the newsfeed or on the For You page, because your ads aren't an asset to, let's say, Meta's business model, which is keeping their audience on their platform for as long as possible. Furthermore, when I keep my ad account extremely simplified, it also gives me or provides me with more actionable insights compared to, let's say, I have two campaigns in the ad account compared to somebody that have 8. Well, in my case, I will have an easier time to pinpoint how I need to improve my ad account compared to that person that have 8, let's say 8 campaigns, with 2 of them being crazy retargeting audiences and 2 also of them having cost caps and 2 more having bid caps and whatever it might be. Well, in that case, that advertiser will have an extremely difficult time to actually pinpoint, well, when I optimize this when I optimize this ad or funnel or campaign, I can directly see an impact on my bottom line, which is obviously the most important. Yes, again, you can also look at your ad account, but that doesn't really define anything for you as an advertiser. You have to pinpoint when this ad gets more spent or ad set or campaign, does it positively increase my bottom line as a business as a whole? And that's a lot easier for me when I have a simplified ad account structure that optimizes to, let's say, Meta's business model, which is prioritizing end user experience with awesome offers they resonate with and creatives that keep them on platform. Now, I actually also have an example here from a client of mine, a Danish brand of mine, so you might not understand it, but this is an ad account from a Danish brand that I helped run a campaign throughout Christmas, where you can see we was promoting one offer primarily, and we only had 2 campaigns you can see here. And in each of those campaigns, we only had one ad set, which was called broad, which obviously means that I didn't touch the age parameter. Geographically, it was all over Denmark, and I didn't touch the gender. It was both men and women. And lastly, if I remove my face, you can see that we have 5 video creatives in one of the ad sets, one of the campaigns, and then we had 5 pictures in the other one. And that's essentially how I did it for this brand, that we were able to scale extremely rapidly in a short period of time. Extremely simplified ad account structure that allowed me as an advertiser to pinpoint exactly what I needed to optimize to essentially increase my business bottom line further. Now, when we have set up our ad account, we also need to look at how we can optimize our ad account, and that's why I essentially wanted to go over these 2 SOPs that I use myself internally, which is called diversification and iteration. Now, first and foremost, I always look at my internal P that is called optimization based on diversification. And diversification is used to analyze how I should overall angle my marketing efforts to be as efficient as humanly possible. And that's why that I look at these metrics, which is amount spent, where is, as an example, meta spending my budget. Frequency, which stages of my funnel does this ad appeal to? Is it a prospecting ad or is it a retargeting ad? As an example, CPM, is my ad engaging my target audience, and is this ad actually an ad that people likes to see, and is it keeping, let's say, Meta's audience on platform and prioritizing their experience on the platform? And lastly, CPA, does my ad meet my performance benchmarks? And I actually have an example here of an ad that I have been running for a client of mine. So let's have a look at it. You can see this is actually the ad, and it's an ad that I have taken from the ad account that I just showed you. And I don't want to play the ad because it's a 1 minute video of the founder here speaking Danish, so you probably won't be able to understand it. But I just wanted to showcase the ad so you have an idea of the ad that I'm going to talk about. And in this case, this ad of mine spent 25k over 20 days, and it's 25k in Danish kroner. That's the valuta here. It had an average frequency of 1.05 broken down by day, which means that it's a top of funnel ad, it's a prospecting ad. It hit my CPM index because I took an average CPM index across the entire account and essentially compared it to this ad that I just showed you, and it hit my index, which was brilliant. That just means that people was resonating with that. And lastly, it had a CPA of 57 Danish kroner with an AOV of 412 Danish kroner, which meant that we were sitting on the ROAS of just above 5, which means that quite practically, I know that this ad resonate with our audience. This script structure resonates with our audience, and this ad have given me an indicator to how I should overall angle my advertising efforts. Now, after that, after I have essentially analyzed what angles work for myself, then I go into optimization based on iteration, and iteration is being used to analyze how I can optimize all well-performing ads and squeeze the most performance out of them. So first and foremost, when I look at optimization based on iteration, I look at the hook rate. So is my ad good at grabbing attention and stopping the thumb scroll? Secondly, hold rate. So where in my ad do people drop off? CTR, how effective is my ad slash messaging at generating clicks to my product page? If it is a product page, it could also be a landing page, a listicle, advertorial, whatever. Then average video play time, and lastly, conversion rate. And if we look at the same ad that we just analyzed, you can see in this case, we had a hook rate of over 55%, which quite frankly is incredible. And the reason for that is first and foremost the visual hook. You can see the founder here laying on his sofa. That's not normal. That's not what you will see on it from a normal Facebook ad. So the visual hook was on point, and also what he says in the first 3 seconds of the video, calling out our audience that we essentially want to see this ad. So that's why we have a hook rate that is so damn good. Then the hold rate, and I've just taken the hold rate looking at 100%, and it's only 3.15% of everybody that watched that ad that essentially watched the entire ad, which means that the whole rate of this video is really, really poor. And in this case, we can make different hypotheses to why that is, and we can also make hypotheses to how we can optimize that. Then we have the CTR 1.7, which is okay, and average video playtime of 11 seconds, which is not that good. Which is not that good when you keep in mind that the video itself is 1 minute. And then we have a conversion rate of 8.42, which is incredible as well. Well, then a hypothesis could be to iterate on this ad, perhaps make it a little bit shorter. So let's say from 1 minute to 35 seconds, and then try to optimize the script in a way where it's more engaging, but still keeping the overall angle, keeping the same hook, and keeping obviously the same back end of the video, because the conversion rate is so damn good. So that's definitely a way to optimize this winning ad. I also wanted to say that I spent the majority of my time finding different angles that I can use instead of iterating on winning ads, because having different angles and concepts means that I can essentially drive through to different market segments of my overall TAM. So that's essentially the optimization based on iteration. Now, last step is cost-efficient funnel, and I can't stress how important this is, because if you want to scale your advertising efforts and you don't want to meet that glass ceiling that most e-commerce stores reached, then you need to find a way, cost efficiently, of course, to craft a funnel that can generate brand awareness, generate traffic, and help you scale your paid advertising efforts on paid social. And I just wanted to take this example with me here of a brand that I worked with approximately 6 months ago, where I essentially helped this particular brand craft a strategy for their TikTok, because previously their marketing mix was looking like this. They only ran paid advertising on Meta. And when I took over the case, I obviously still continued to run the ads on Meta, but we just couldn't scale further because they had reached a glass ceiling. So what I did was to take a step back and craft a cost efficient way to expand our funnel. So we continued Meta with our advertising on that platform. We also added on advertising on TikTok. Then we also added on creators. So we used creators to essentially post UGC videos on their platforms that we can also use on our own primary platform, and then whitelisting, which is pretty much using the videos our creators made to essentially on Meta run them as ads, but also on TikTok run them as TikTok Spark ads, because we could essentially test organically first on TikTok and then run them as Spark ads. And this is just a screenshot that I have taken of their page, where you can see that these 6 videos were all creators that we used to first and foremost generate content. And the good thing about TikTok is that it's a discovery platform. So what we essentially did was to focus on creators that is really good at showcasing how they are taking our clothes and incorporating that in their everyday life. Because when you are dealing with an audience on TikTok, they want to be educated, and they want to get inspired in terms of how they can use our products in their daily lives themselves. And that's exactly what we did. And you can essentially see that these are just the 6 latest videos that this brand posted. And you can again see how we went from having only Meta and then having Meta, TikTok creators, and whitelisting that overall, as I have written here, helped us build a cost-efficient way to generate traffic, build our brand, and assisted in scaling our paid social profitably. Now, that was actually the last slide of this video. I hope you were able to take something of value from this video that you can essentially implement yourself into your own e-commerce store and essentially scale from that point, whether that is having a look at your offers that doesn't really have that product market fit that allows you to scale further, or perhaps your backend on paid social, or how you need to optimize your ad account based on diversification or iteration, or lastly, if you have all of those things in place but you just can't scale, that's probably because you haven't crafted a cost-efficient funnel that can expand your funnel, as I said, and generate traffic and build your brand, whilst also allowing you to scale your paid advertising budgets profitably. That's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed that video, and take care. Bye.